I guess it has been a long time coming. If you're coming from a different side of the aisle and obviously late to the party, we'll get into this real quick. And what I'm talking about is Stephen Colbert, late to the party, late to his own party, late to the ratings list on how many people watch him. But he has something to say about Jesus Christ Superstar and Cynthia Erivo. And he says, well, it's been a long time coming since they put a black woman to play the role of Jesus Christ. All right, sure, let's go. By the way, hit that subscribe button. So Stephen Colbert claims a female Jesus is long overdue and praises Cynthia Erivo casting in Jesus Christ Superstar. Of course, he's going to do this no matter what his actual beliefs are. He's going to do this because he has her on as a talk show, a late night show where he has to interview her and she's promoting her stuff. So he has to kind of fluff her up a little bit. This is not giving this guy any passes whatsoever. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to keep that till later. Late night host and self-described Roman Catholic Stephen Colbert has voiced his support for Cynthia Erivo portraying a female Jesus in the upcoming Hollywood Bowl production of Jesus Christ Superstar, calling the casting long overdue. Now, the first time I read this article, I basically gave you the same caveat that I just did. I was like, well, he kind of has to do it. It's understandable that he would do it. However, I still don't agree with it. So we're going to put it on blast. And during an interview last week on The Late Show, he welcomed her in, who will take on the lead as a female Jesus. Yes, that is misspelled in this article, in the Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice rock opera this August in L.A. Now, this musical has always been heresy to hardcore and devout Christians. It's always been heresy. It's told mainly from Judas Iscariot's point of view. And it kind of makes him out maybe to be a sympathetic villain, not necessarily a villain, which is what he did, was sold Jesus to the cross. But we're not going to go too much into religion. I know my religion is going to it's going to perforate this entire video. That's okay. I'm letting you know up front. But I'm trying to take everything with a grain of salt, and I am trying to just see it as what it is. Not only with modern day politics, but also like from a faith perspective. So let's go straight into this. Oh my goodness. What is going on here? It looks like one of the starving children from Africa. You know, all of those Christian projects, they finally got fostered to come over here and they found a job in a tattoo parlor. It looks like Queen was race swapped after the leukemia treatment. This was like the it at the DMV, the androgynous lump that just sits there and keeps getting your license wrong when you just want to get in and out. Of course, you can never do that at the DMV, but you can't get in and out because those nails keep click-clacking on different keys, and they never have your certifications correct. This looks like she's one blink away from killing 1 million houseflies or eating them because that's the only way they get sustenance. Anyway, I digress from all of that. One of my favorite musicals of all time is Jesus Christ Superstar. Colbert told the British actress, I highly doubt it. If he knows of any musicals whatsoever, that would not be on the top of his list. I love that, and I'm so excited that in August, you're going to be playing Jesus because Jesus is the Son of God. It doesn't matter how, if you say that you're non-binary, oh my gosh, I am getting so twisted up on my words with all this stupid ass gender bullshit. It's not going to work. First woman to play Jesus in a major production because Jesus was not a woman. Jesus is not a woman. Anyway, long overdue. I've said for years, I'd love to see a woman in that part. Why would you love to see a woman in the role of Jesus? Just tell me why. Does he ever enumerate or expound on this? No, he doesn't. He's just saying it because that's what the party line is saying that he should say. And this is where authenticity comes in. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with my faith. You don't have to do any of that. I'm still going to shake your hand and be like, yo, bring it in. Let's talk about real issues. Let's talk about what we actually feel about these kind of things. I'm not just going to like blow hot air up your ass to make you like balloon and this little, anyway, I'm stopping from that. Erivo, who identifies as bisexual identity, not the gender. Said the casting is deeply meaningful. Why is it deeply meaningful for her? Does she have a Christian past? She doesn't ever say. I think the idea that I can play this role, and I've been given the opportunity to play it in front of so many people at that place, this time of my life is a very special thing. It's the first time I've been on stage in that way for a long time. So to do it with this role is awesome. And what she means by that is she, in an earlier run of Jesus Christ Superstar, she played Mary Magdalene, which is fine because people over there, like, I've known Egyptians that were black as night. I've also known some that were brown and some that were a little bit more mixed and everything like that. That doesn't matter. The color doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that Jesus is the Son of God, and Cynthia Erivo is a freaking chick. Colbert acknowledged the demanding nature of the part, calling it an incredibly demanding role because she gets to sing. Well, we've seen how much she can sing in Wicked. She's actually pretty dadgum good at it. And so what? You get to wear a coat of many colors and, do your little flash dance. I don't understand what is so demanding of the nature of the part, other than the fact that you don't have a dang-a-lang in between your legs. The actress, she previously played Mary Magdalene. The production has already drawn pushback from Christian leaders. Obviously, it would. It was always should we say blasphemous or just a little bit heretical? It's a little bit of both. But here's some of the thing, and this one, oh my gosh, Pastor John K. Amonchukwu, bless you, criticized the casting as blasphemy, adding that Erivo was too bald, brown, and bi to portray the religious figure. I gotta say, that's a winner of a comment. The statement gained traction online following the casting announcement because why would you? Who in their right mind? I know there's a lot of people out there in the world who do believe in Jesus Christ, and they see that picture of a white Jesus, a quote unquote white Jesus or a tan Jesus, and they're like, that's not what he actually looked like. Well, you also have the Shroud of Turin, where I don't know if y'all have watched that documentary, and I'm going off on a tangent, but they actually did a facial reconstruction of the Shroud of Turin, and he looked very, shall we say, European. It was very non-specific to a certain demographic. Jesus Christ Superstar has sparked religious debate since its inception. Originally in 1970, the musical presents a dramatized final week in the life of Jesus from the perspective of Judas, often portraying Judas the betrayer in a sympathetic light. Now, he's the guy who sold Jesus off to the Pharisees for 40 pieces of silver. The original Broadway production debuted in 1971, and a film adaptation followed in 1973, and that was in Technicolor. I remember that for some reason. I never watched the thing, but I just remember that being at Blockbuster when I was young, and I wanted to see it, and my parents were like, no, we're not watching that one. I was like, why? But we're a Christian family. It's like, no, not watching it. They knew something that I didn't, and now that I do know, I'm even more abhorred at the thought of all of this. The music notably omits a depiction of the resurrection, which has been a recurring point of controversy among Christian audiences. Well, here's where we can maybe find common ground. Maybe. If it doesn't have the resurrection in it, if it's told from the point of Judas Iscariot, then I can understand why it wouldn't be in the play because it's told from his point of view and he wasn't there for the resurrection. So I can kind of see that. And also there are a lot of Christian people, hey, call a spade a spade. Like I understand there are a lot of Christian people who take things teetotaling in a way. I don't think that should be a point of contention, in my own opinion. But in the Hollywood Bowl, singer Adam Lambert, who is notably gay, will play Judas. And that's fine. Like, he's a good singer. I actually watched, this was back when I watched American Idol, 2009. I had graduated high school 3 years prior. I actually do remember him. Dude's a fantastic singer. So I have no problem with this whatsoever. The real big thing is really just Colbert just kowtowing to the liberal agenda, which he is like a hardcore liberal. And that's totally fine as well. It doesn't mean I have to agree with what he's saying. It doesn't mean I have to agree with his point of view. You don't have to agree with my point of view. But to just sit there and blow smoke up her ass that, like, oh, I've wanted this, it's long overdue. And it's like, nah, you know what's long overdue is the end of woke culture. Jesus is a man. End of story. If you guys have anything to say, leave it down in the comment section below. This is Malty from Mouthy Malty. Thank you for staying with me this long. Love you guys, and we will see you soon. Probably tonight. Bye-bye.